All right, hey guys, my name's Stan Prokopenko. Welcome to Proko. Aaron Blaise is here, all the way from Florida.
Yeah.
You brought your whole crew.
Yep.
3 people. Thank you for coming. That's expensive.
Yeah, it's all for you, man.
No, I know. You're here for CTN. He didn't.
No, we're here for him.
Yeah. Right, but yeah, thanks. We went to the zoo. We did some drawing.
Yeah.
Now we're just gonna do a little interview. Try to get as much knowledge out of him as possible. So I got a bunch of questions for you.
Okay.
What are you sculpting there?
Right now, this is a kneaded eraser. Yeah, that's what I'm sculpting.
And at the end of the episode,
it's gonna be David.
David. Okay. What? Okay. So, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, so you worked for Disney.
I did work for Disney for 21 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you started?
I interned when I was 20, and I started at the studio when I was 21.
I thought it was 19.
I thought it was too, and I looked it up in case you asked me that. I couldn't remember.
Well, yeah, it was
1988. I interned in 1988, summer of 1988. Were you?
Yeah.
I wasn't.
No. You were 20.
I was 20.
You just told me that. Right. Okay, and how did you get that internship?
Okay, so I went to the Ringling College of Art and Design, and I trained as an illustrator. Ringling is pretty well known as an animation school now, along with illustration, but at the time there was no animation. We hadn't had the big resurgence like we had through the 90s.
It was illustration pretty much?
Well, it was illustration, fine art, graphic design, that sort of thing. So I wanted to work for National Geographic as an illustrator.
So you wanted to draw animals
my whole life.
Okay.
Oh yeah, my entire life. That's all I've ever drawn. I lived out in I grew up out in the Everglades in a little trailer, and I would go out and draw the animals out in the swamps. But so I went to Ringling, and I found out that National Geographic only freelanced their illustrations. I didn't want to freelance anymore.
Oh, yeah.
And so I wanted a studio job. And so there was 2 companies that were coming to Ringling to interview. One was Hallmark Cards, and one was Disney. And
you lucked out.
And Disney was first. I was gonna interview with both.
You're gonna make greeting cards?
Yeah, I never had any aspirations of animating or painting for Disney. It was a job opportunity.
So they saw that you were good at drawing.
Yes.
Not good at animation.
No, I didn't know how to animate. No, it was the first time that they had actually gone outside of animation schools, and they wanted to see if they could train people that could draw how to animate. And so they picked 8 of us from across the country.
That's the main skill, right?
Yeah, drawing, man.
And you just draw multiple times.
Exactly. Move it a little bit. But I got really lucky. So I got the internship, went out to California, and I was paired up with Glenn Keane, who's...
Oh, who's that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Well, for those of you that don't know who Glenn Keane is, he's probably one of the best contemporary animators alive. And he did Little Mermaid and Tarzan and Beast and all these great standard characters that we all know, and so he's the guy that taught me animation.
Was he a big deal already?
Yeah.
When you started?
Yeah, because it was funny because there were a couple of guys in our internship that were from Cal Arts, and so when they found out that I got Glenn Keane, they got really mad because they wanted Glenn Keane.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was good for me.
And that was... What year was that?
That was 1988, summer of 1988. Yep, that was July.
And then your first project there was Beauty and the Beast, or there was something before that?
That was 1988, and that was after my second year in college. So I left the internship. I actually got a job, but they were still building the studio in Orlando. So I went back to Sarasota to Ringling, and I finished my last year of school, and already hired. I just had to finish college, and so I went back and did that.
Oh, so what did you do in the internship? They just trained you?
They just trained me how to animate.
So you didn't do anything that was used
there was nothing that was used for anything. I learned how to do bouncing balls and walk cycles. And
so it was an internship? It was
like a training program is what it was.
And they knew they were going to hire you after you're done with college?
Right. So I finished up college, started in April 17th of 1989. And our first project was an animated short, Roger Rabbit, called Roller Coaster Rabbit. And it went out with Dick Tracy.
Okay.
The movie Dick Tracy. And it was during that production that I was promoted to animator. And so our next project from a feature standpoint was The Rescuers Down Under. Okay. And we were part of the satellite crew. So it was based in California, but we worked on it in Florida as well. And that was my first feature as an animator.
I think a lot of people, when they hear that story, they're like, what the hell? You were I guess 22, 23 when you were already animating Beast.
Yeah, I was 22.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how did you get good so fast? Like, is there a way that you study?
I was obsessed with drawing.
Okay.
I mean, obsessed. I mean, all I ever did was draw. And I think anybody that, I'm sure you could relate to it the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, from the time I could hold a pencil, I was drawing. I was drawing before I could walk. And I always tell people, they ask me how long I've been drawing, and I always tell them I started drawing when the Beatles were still a band and Jimi Hendrix was still alive. So I've been drawing my whole life. And so, and I've always been obsessed with drawing a lot of the things that help you get better, meaning like observing animals and drawing them from life and observing people and that kind of thing. And it's just something I've always loved doing. And it's like anything else. I mean, if you want to be a great football player, then you play a lot of football.
And so, did you have any friends as a kid, or did you just draw all day?
It's funny. I did have friends. None of them. I don't know if that any. I guess a couple of them like to draw more than like any kid does. But I was the only art nerd, and but it was great because, like I said, we grew up in this little trailer out in the swamp, so there weren't that many people around. So I spent a lot of my time just drawing. Yeah. And I was obsessed with it.
How, so let's say high school, college times, how often and how long did you draw?
I drew, I can't say how often. I mean,
was it every day?
No, I wouldn't say every day. I don't even draw. I mean, I always tell everybody, draw every day, to get better.
That's the goal.
None of us do. Yeah.
Right.
The goal is, exactly. But I drew as often as I could. And, I was entering every art show, art league thing, that I could find in town when I was 13, 14 years old. And I was really lucky enough that I started to win some of these things. And as I was growing up through elementary school and later in high school, I had people that would kind of take me under their wing and show me the ropes. I had an art teacher when I was in elementary school that would allow me to come into his art class as long as I got all my work done.
Yeah, that was another question I wanted to ask is how important were mentorships
for me?
Mentors.
It was really about, they were important. And I was lucky too that I had a family that saw value in art. They were the ones that were telling me when I was 5 years old, you're going to be a commercial artist when you grow up. I didn't know what it meant, but
commercial. They said commercial artist. They didn't say artist.
No, commercial artist. Yeah, because it was. I was still going to make money. It was still important to make money, but no.
That's why they said.
Yeah, but I come from a pretty creative family. My father was a musician and likes to create, and my mother was an artist. They never really did anything with their art, but they always encouraged me. Yeah.
Well, they did things.
They did.
They just didn't. They didn't sell it.
No. No.
Were they good?
Yeah, they're pretty.
Did you learn from a lot? Well, your mom was the fine artist, you said? Or
well, somewhat.
Your dad was a musician?
Yeah, and my father is an artist as well. He likes to draw as well. And actually, my parents split up when I was young, and so my stepfather, he was also a designer. So I was lucky enough, and he was, and I was lucky enough to have great step parents, and everybody got along, and so we had a great a childhood from that sense. So there's always creativity going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's a big part of it, because I was always really encouraged, to keep pushing.
Yeah.
And my stepfather, who was the only one out of everybody that had actually gone to college and gotten a degree, he would actually, when I was 9, 10 years old, he'd critique my work for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The support from the parents, I think, is huge.
It is.
I had the same thing, and they were always pushing me. Anytime I would stop drawing, more like when I was a teenager, not as a kid, but they would be like, "Hey, how come you're not drawing?"
Well, yeah, I mean, when I discovered girls, and that's what that became my pursuit. Then my father pulled me aside and said, "Hey, man, you got to get your head back in the game."
Oh, really? Most fathers would be proud.
Oh no, he knew it was going to happen eventually, but he's like, "This is your career now." Yeah, it was pretty funny.
When you discovered girls, that was already your career?
Oh,
the drawing.
The girls? The girls were going to be my career? No.
The drawing was already your career when you discovered girls.
It was going to be my career. Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything you would do differently in the way you trained? And I'm talking about more of when you were already an adult.
Yeah.
As a kid, you're just having fun. You're just drawing stuff. But
I really consider myself really blessed in the way that I've developed the abilities that I have. I wouldn't change a thing. I really had great mentors, not just growing up, we were just talking about my parents and some of the people that helped me through school, but by the time I became a professional, when I started at Disney, with Glenn Keane and Mark Henn and some of these guys that were just phenomenal animators and phenomenal draftsmen.
Yeah.
I was around them every day. And not just that, I was surrounded, all of us, at the studio, there's some of the best artists in the country, or at least for what we were doing. And we fed off of each other all the time. You couldn't help but learn and be affected by what other people are drawing. And so, and if you spend 20 years doing that, 21 years, then you can't help but just grow. And when we would go out for lunch, would be 5 or 6 of us, and we'd go out and go painting for lunch, or we'd go do figure drawing for lunch, or and then you go back, and now you're back to work and you're still drawing. So it's you just can't help but grow from that. And so that became my training and mentorships and all that. And I can't imagine it being any better.
Right. Yeah. I mean, getting Glenn Keane as a mentor.
And because it was Disney, we were exposed to some of the best training that you could get. Whether it's they bring people in to teach X or
they can hire the best instructors.
Yeah, it was great. And then they'd fly us off to go to some crazy place.
Did Vilpu ever come in?
Oh, Vilpu was there all the time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Glenn and I became great friends. Yeah.
I did an interview with him.
Oh,
he
did
was
you?
the first person I intervied.
I love Glenn.
Yeah, he agreed to do an interview when I had no subscribers yet. And I was
that's great. That's awesome.
My animation teacher in high school, I took animation every semester in high school. 8 times.
Really?
Animation. And my teacher in high school played Glenn Vilpu's VHS tapes.
Really?
All the time, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he was the best.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so when you were studying as a kid, were you sketching? Were you painting? What were your mediums?
Yeah, well, I started like most kids, so I was drawing first, and then I went. My stepfather started teaching me watercolor when I was really young, so that was the first painting medium that I learned. I think when I was about 7 or 8 years old, and so and he taught me how to do washes, and and I really fell in love with it. So I've been painting watercolor since I was 8. And he also, at the same time, he started teaching me 2- and 3-point perspective, which was pretty cool.
At 8?
At 8 years old. Yeah, when I got into college, I actually helped teach the class. It was pretty cool. But and then I went through a Prismacolor pencil phase where I just did everything in Prismacolor. It wasn't until college that I started oil painting and doing charcoal and all of that.
Okay.
And then acrylic painting. And I love all mediums, so I don't sculpt much though, other than this. So now I'm
it's
not
like a
sure.
wizard hat.
It is. It's a Sherpa hat or something.
So you were good at color then pretty early, and you animated Beast, or you're one of the animators for Beast.
I am one of the animators
Glenn
of Beast.
Keane was the lead.
He was. Yep.
You were under him, and then,
Yeah.
So did you also color Beast, or was that past? That was a totally separate team.
It's a totally separate team. So the way the assembly line works when making an animated movie, you have the story artists that actually you have the writer who writes the script, then you have the storyboard artists that interpret the script into comic book panels, basically. And then you have layout artists that take those and they decide what the stage is going to look like, and they set up all the different shots and where the characters are going to be. And then from that point, it gets broken into 2, and the backgrounds go off to the background painters, and then the character part goes to the rough animators, which is what I was. And so it was our job to come up with the acting and rough out the action on the screen.
And then it gets to the
and then it gets redrawn again by the assistants and in-betweeners. Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So you never see any of my drawings actually on the screen. It's somebody else's.
Wow. I mean.
Well, that's pretty much how it is, how it works.
They're your drawings.
Reinterpreted.
Honestly, when I see the original roughs, when I look at the Disney rough, they're better than the cleanup versions. They have emotion to them.
Yeah, they have life, and that's
so much better.
We're doing a short film now, and called Snow Bear, and we're not going to clean up any of it.
Oh, that's why you're doing them all.
Yeah, baby.
That's why you. So yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
it's
doing
going to be all rough.
It's an 8-minute.
8-minute short.
And
yeah.
you're animating every frame.
Every frame. Yep.
That's
Yep.
amazing.
And it's all going to be kept in rough. Yeah. So it's
That's cool.
gonna crawl, but it's all about hand drawn and the art of made by hand. So I want to.
How rough is it going to be? Because when I see the rough beast drawings, they're like really loose. Like.
Oh no, they're gonna be. Because I'm going to have a lot of subtle emotion and movement in there, so I don't want it to be so loose that it's just distracting. But it'll have life. There'll be some life to the line. Put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. So you're going to be aware that this is your final. That it's not going to be cleaned up.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's kind of that's my style of animation anyway. I animate pretty clean, but still, got a little life to the line.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And are you going to digitally color?
Yeah, we're going to digitally color it. We'll do digital backgrounds, digitally painted backgrounds. Yeah, and even the 2D animation, it's not going to be done on paper. It's going to be done on a Cintiq using TV Paint software, animation software.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's great.
Nice. And when is that going to be done?
Well, if you would have asked us last year, we would have said it's going to be done now. Yeah,
Okay.
We've been doing, Nick and I, Nick Birch, my business partner, we've been traveling all over the world for the last year. And so we haven't really gotten a lot of work done. So we're kind of putting the kibosh on the travel for at least the next year. And we're going to
You've
focus
been getting
on
work done while traveling.
but not animation.
No.
And that's our passion. We want to get, it's one thing to go out and teach, as far as I'm concerned, and help people. But if you're not participating, if you're not practicing your craft, then you're just going to get stale. So we want to make sure we're doing it.
Okay, so your main thing right now, your craft is animation. Is that?
Animation, drawing, painting.
Okay.
To me, it's creation, creating art,
Because
visual art.
the past, I don't know how many years, you've been doing more fine art stuff, right?
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean,
Larger
yeah.
paintings and charcoal
Larger
drawings.
paintings, digital art. I've been really pushing myself on digital art. But we've been, I'll jump off and do character design for a movie here or there, and I'll animate tiny little projects here or there. But
What were the recent ones you did?
there's one animation project we did back in 2013. I know that's a while back, but it was the last fairly decent project that we did. It was a commercial for a department store called John Lewis, which is a company in the UK.
Okay.
And every year they do a big Christmas campaign. And so this particular year they wanted to do something hand-drawn, hand-animated. And so it's called The Bear and the Hare. And it was a story about this bear who's never experienced Christmas before, and it's his first Christmas. It's a two-minute commercial. And the reason I bring it up, because I don't usually bring up commercial stuff, the way they did it was really cool. We did it all hand animated. I designed all the characters, and then I animated actually the bear and the hare character, all on paper. But then they scanned the drawings, digitally painted them, but then they printed them out on thin board and laser cut every drawing.
Every frame?
Every frame, and took the character out, and then they built miniature sets and placed the character flat in the set and set up, so it's like a stop motion thing. It's super effective. It works. I want to do a whole feature like that. I think it's really cool.
All right, so I like to do a speed round. Just like instant, quick answers, right? And I don't really have that many of them, just 4.
7. Oh,
4.
Okay, gotcha.
What do you enjoy more, quick sketches or longer efforts?
Longer efforts.
Oh, really?
I do. I love
Did not
rendering.
expect that.
I don't mind quick sketching, but and there's a certain satisfaction I get out of it. But I love getting into working light and color and rendering and.
Yeah.
I'll still keep things fairly loose. That's my style, but I like getting into long poses. And long things. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Probably because when you were a kid, you would sit down for a while and draw. You did do like
exactly.
gestures like that.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. Okay. And you probably have drawn so many gestures, so many quick frames that
I can't tell you how many times I go to figure class and everybody in the class, all they want to do are 5-minute drawings, and it drives me crazy.
Well,
I want to do 20-minute poses.
I think most people in class are probably beginners.
Yeah.
And they don't know enough to take the drawing past the gesture phase.
Yeah, probably.
Just past the rough phase.
You may have something there.
Yeah. No, that's what happens.
I absolutely
I've
agree.
seen it.
No, but I'm talking about like guys from the studio, like they're all professionals, and all they
really?
want to do are 5-minute poses. I'm
Oh,
like,
what the
come
hell?
on, man. Just let's.
I like
we
to
all know how
start
to
with
draw. Let's just.
I start when I do life drawing. I start with 20-minute, so 4 or 5-minute poses. 20 minutes.
See, 5-minute. That's a good pose.
And then get into a pose because the quick sketches are really good to loosen up.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You just
I agree.
Just get it out there.
But I can only do so many 30-second poses or 1-minute poses.
Yeah, that's more of an exercise. Of
Yeah.
learning about.
Yeah. 5 minutes a good. That's a
Motion.
good. That's actually a good amount of time for a quick decent sketch.
All right, this is gonna be a hard one. Favorite animal? Don't say lion.
I was going to say any big cats. Big cats in general.
What's the biggest cat?
Bears. I love bears.
What's the biggest cat?
What's the biggest cat?
Yeah.
The biggest cat is a Siberian tiger.
I thought it was a liger.
Oh well, but they're not natural. They're hybrids.
But are they
But
big?
they are big. Yeah,
They
they're
are
like
bigger?
1,000 pounds.
Okay.
They're like the size of a
But they're
dinosaur.
Cats. They're cats.
They are
And they're
cats. Yeah. It's pretty much my favorite animal.
Yeah, it's real.
It is.
It's a real thing. Did Napoleon invent it and then they started breeding them? They're like, oh my God, genius. Or did they breed them before Napoleon?
I didn't even know Napoleon started it.
He started it. Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, awesome. See, I learned something today.
All right. What medium do you want to learn?
Oh, there you go. Well, from a digital standpoint, I want to learn ZBrush really bad. I
Same
love
here,
sculpting.
but I know I never will.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
And,
It's too far from what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know.
It's so close, but so far.
I would love to do more 3D
3D sculpting.
the tactile 3D
do you do,
stuff. I don't sculpt.
Clay sculpt? You don't sculpt?
No, I don't sculpt at all.
Have you ever tried it?
In college. That was the last time I ever tried to sculpt. So I would love to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because I see some sculptures that just, oh my God, the emotion just wells up. You want to do it so bad.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. But pretty much any other kind of painting medium, I've pretty much tried.
You know what you should do, and this would probably be a popular vlog for your YouTube channel, is just be like, hey, I haven't sculpted since college.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna try it, and then just film it.
That's a great idea.
Be like, hey,
Actually, I love that idea.
and that's a great way to make everybody feel bad about themselves. Because you know your sculpture is gonna be amazing. You know the forms and anatomy so well.
Right, I know what you mean. That's funny. I don't know if that'll happen, but that
Oh,
would
it
be.
will. It'll take you a week to figure out the medium.
Yeah.
Right? There's only so much. Okay, you gotta warm it up.
Right. Yeah.
You got these tools to
Yeah,
play
see,
around with it
even
for a
that, I
little
forgot
bit.
all about having to do that.
You can look that up.
Yeah.
That's like, that's not the stuff that takes a long time to learn. It's
Yeah, you're
learning
right.
the forms.
Yeah.
I bet you're gonna get a really awesome sculpture and it'll be a popular video.
That could be cool.
You're welcome.
Oh, the other digital thing is I've only done it once and I got totally hooked on it, which was drawing in VR.
Oh,
Like
you
3D
tried it?
3D drawing.
I have the, what do you call it?
Vive.
Vive. Yeah, I have the Vive at home.
That's what I tried it on.
Yeah.
Tilt paint. I think it was tilt paint.
Tilt brush.
A tilt brush. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
I tried it. Man, it was too awkward for me.
But it was super awkward for me too. But then I kept trying it, and it just got fun. I really enjoyed it. It's like creating these wire sculptures in space. I love that. So I want to do more of that.
I need to feel it.
Yeah.
For me, for some reason, I couldn't get it right where I
depth.
wanted it to go.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to do a cylinder or something, or
And it would
to roll the
wouldn't
form
meet
of a
back
rib
at-
cage, and
yeah.
it'd be like, oh, and I'd cut in way too early. Like,
Yeah.
What the heck?
I just started once I started loosening up, and I just did and then I did one that
I was trying
I
to
didn't
be
worry
too-
about it.
too accurate, huh?
Yeah, and then I was just it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Do it again, man.
I'll try it
Do
again.
it again.
But also, my neck just starts hurting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you got the wires back here, and I'm like flexing my neck the whole time.
Oh, you
and
should
after,
work out more.
Yeah, that is true. I'm not gonna argue that. But yeah, like I'm flexing my neck the whole time. It just gets stiff.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
take it off. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
It's like sleeping in the wrong pose all night.
Yeah.
Just get a cramp in my neck. But hopefully they get rid of the wires soon. Cause
I know.
When those things get lighter,
I'm dying to because we're getting one for my place, and I can't wait to try it, to do it more.
Oh, you should have come to my house.
Yeah, I know.
We should have done.
Well, now we have a reason to come back.
Yeah, I could bring it when I go to
Florida.
Miami. Or not Miami. You're
Orlando.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, this is a speed round. Okay. What question do you hope I will ask you?
What question do you hope I will ask you?
Yeah.
What are my
Obviously,
dimensions?
What are your dimensions? Whoa.
I don't know.
Rated M.
Yeah, right. What question do I hope you would ask me?
Yeah.
It's
this is where I get lazy with my questions.
Yeah.
Like you do the work.
I don't know. There's one that I'm.
Fine. What's the best question that anyone's ever asked you in an interview? You've done plenty of interviews. Right?
I've done hundreds, thousands of them. Thousands. Disney. I mean, come on, man.
Oh, right.
I mean, we do hundreds per movie.
Yeah. Okay, that's a stupid question. I don't know why I asked that. That's stupid. Let's just move on. All right. I think actually we're pretty much done. I just want to ask you about, like, what can people expect from you in the next 5 years? Well, we already talked about the bear.
Yeah. So Nick and I, the Snow Bear. So Nick and I are working on Snow Bear, and that's that animated short that we're going to be doing.
And that's like the next 1 year, right?
Yeah, that's in the next 1 year. But also in the next year, we're constantly creating new courses. We're starting.
Might as well say where are these courses?
Yeah, so our website is creatureartteacher.com. It's the art of Aaron Blaise.
It's right there.
So hopefully it's right here.
Yeah. No, we're just going to put it right on your face. No.
But it's creatureartteacher.com, and actually I'll talk a little bit about why we started doing it. So because I really 10 years ago my wife passed away from cancer, and that was kind of the thing that sent me out of Disney. I lost my wife, and I lost my mojo for animation in that time. And so I had a hard time getting back into the film I was directing, and eventually I was taken off of the film, and that's when I decided to leave the company. I came back to Florida. I had moved to Los Angeles. Came back to Florida and started up with another company and was trying to start my life over again. And that company, after a couple of years, went bankrupt. And so there I was without a job again. And so the inspiration from my wife, I wanted to do something that she would be proud of. And I also started thinking about, I didn't want to go back to a studio. And I started thinking about Glenn Keane and Glenn Keane is such a wonderful, giving human being. He's giving of information, of friendship. And I mean, he's just a great guy. And so I started thinking about all the knowledge that I had gotten from him and passing it on. And so we started thinking, Nick and I started talking about it, and we thought.
How'd you meet Nick?
Well, Nick, we both went to the Ring and College of Art and Design. We were not at the same time. I went a long time before he did, but
he looks older than you.
Way older. That's right. But we met there, and we just started interacting quite a bit, and so I went to Nick. With this idea, I wanted to start a website, and then we just started working more and more together. But the idea being that we live in this day and age of information, and so having the ability to share information on a global scale was something that we just started talking about and getting really excited about, and it was something that we could drive, and we could, if we did it the right way, we could create anything we want. I mean, if we want to do animal drawing, if we want to do animation, we not painting, whatever. Yeah,
you can have the same size audience as Disney did.
And so we started that 3.5 years ago, and it's been great. And so, but it was all inspired by Glenn and my wife, and wanting to do something good, put something good back in the world. Making art education affordable, because that's the other thing that I'm passionate about. Is I hate how expensive colleges
yes.
have gotten. To me, it's obscene.
It's not worth it.
It's criminal, I think.
You can learn more just on your own from books.
Yeah.
Buy an $80 book and you'll learn more than in a class.
Yeah.
At these
And
colleges.
so that was another thing that we wanted to do, is not obviously replace it, because we'll never be a replacement for college, but we wanted to at least come up with something that can supplement someone's education. And maybe somebody in a poorer country somewhere that'll never get to go to college can at least get some of our lessons and learn something. So that's
awesome.
the drive behind it. Yeah. Thanks.
Cool. Yeah, and actually about your wife, I saw recently your video on Sketchbooks.
Yeah.
That was really powerful.
Oh, thanks.
Like that one where you drew
With
your
my mother? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man, like you guys need to watch that. What's the video called?
The importance of sketchbooks. Yeah, it is.
It really just shows you how you can capture your life in sketchbooks, and you can revisit them, and your drawings just become so powerful. It's not just about trying to get a good drawing. It's really about coming from the heart and drawing something that's important to you.
It's absolutely right. I mean, I'm always telling people to keep sketchbooks, but if you can keep a sketchbook, and it's not just about doing exercises, if you do it based on, like, if you literally get in that habit of taking it with you everywhere you go on vacations or whatever, and then you're drawing from life, then what happens is every one of those moments that you record when you're out and about somewhere becomes embedded in your brain. And when you go back through that sketchbook, you're going to be teleported back to that time. And so I go back to these sketchbooks of when my family, my kids were small and my wife and I were together, and look at these paintings, and all of a sudden I'm there. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that in your YouTube channel, we haven't mentioned that link. It's Art of Aaron Blaise.
Yeah, it's Aaron Blaise Art.
Aaron Blaise Art.
Yeah, Aaron Blaise Art. And it's so you could it's on
cross out.
right. But it's in all my social media is Aaron Blaise Art. So it's YouTube and Instagram, Facebook.
Okay.
All that stuff.
I'm sure they could just
Twitter.
look up Aaron Blaise.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
You can find me.
You find. Cool. So wait, is that basically, did that cover everything you're gonna do in the next 5 years?
Oh no! So in the next 5 years, so I kind of got sidetracked. So
that's good.
Another big thing that we're doing now is we're gonna start expanding the website a little bit and start bringing in some other artists that I've worked with in the past, and kind of.
What kind of topics?
It's going to be all kinds of stuff. So we definitely want to have a nice big education hub. That's what we want to grow our website into. But I mean, we'll have we're going to be doing stuff on storyboarding. We're going to be doing stuff on script writing, story creation, color theory. I mean, just tons and tons of stuff coming in a wide range of topics.
Any artists yet that you can talk about?
Not yet, because we don't have everything in stone yet.
Right.
But stay tuned. You'll know.
Get on the newsletter,
That's right.
and you'll find out first.
So, but we're getting there.
More courses with other artists.
Yeah, more courses with other artists, and just it's really all about expanding the site and doing more. I want to constantly have a project in the works. Mm-hmm. A creative project, whether it's Snow Bear or something like that. Like
not
a creative,
educational, but a project for yourself to.
Yeah, it's still, because I like I said, I still think it's important to be practicing what you preach.
Yeah, man. I wish I spend all my time running. The company. And,
I know what you mean.
And drawing for the lessons.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for the day when I'll have a little bit more time to just a few days a week just paint.
Yeah. Well, we've been doing a ton of travel. We've been in the last, I think, 3 months, we've been to 7 different countries. And I love travel. I think everybody should travel. I think it's a huge part of anyone's well-roundedness is to get out and experience other cultures and all that. And so we actually want us to, as a company, to start doing a lot more of it, but not for other people, for ourselves. And so I'd love to start doing episodes and shows and teaching and things like that from other places, not just in the studio. So, hey, we're gonna go do some landscape painting in Grand Teton National Park, and we'll go out there for a week and shoot out there. I'd like that to start becoming a big part of our company.
And vlogging it instead of making like educational things? Or
no, both. We'll do both.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. If we're gonna go that far, we're gonna pack as much of it as we can into the website. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I think that's about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
man.
man.
Awesome. So one more time, find Aaron Blaise on Aaron Blaise Art or creatureartteacher.com.
Creatureartteacher.com and the Aaron Blaise Art, and it's the Art of Aaron Blaise. The website is.
And he specializes in animals.
And animation. Yep. Animal drawing and animation. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, man.
Awesome. See you guys.
Great.